Ooh, what's good? My name is Axotol, and today, my friends, we're going to be taking a look at the Samurai class for Elden Ring. As a disclaimer, and I try and put these at the start of every video. The classes that you start off with mean less the more you level up and the farther into the game you get. Really the only benefit for choosing a specific class is the starting equipment that they come out with. So I wouldn't worry too much about missing anything if you do feel like you've picked the wrong class. That being said, it's her name, Auge, gotcha. For a keepsake, pick up the Golden Seed. Golden Seed's the best one, all the other keepsakes don't really matter. Golden Seed, you get an extra heal that you get to mess around with, so why not? By the way, there is a starting boss, and the best class is this one if you want to kill that boss. I'm not sure if you can go back to it. I don't think you can. However, it is possible. Let me skip all this. This is the class that I killed it with. It's very easy. You just bow spam him and then he dies. Each shot does like most of his health. Hopefully I won't die, so we can show you here. You also get like a weapon and a shield, and the weapon is pretty good. Starting off with, it's a strength, dexterity dual weapon with a unique weapon art. The shield is whatever. It's a shield. If you're using shields in this game, it's not like bad, but I think you're hindering your not progress. You're hindering your ability to grow. So if you do want to kill this guy real easily, you just spam the weapon art into his face. Oh, he actually blocked that. Make sure you keep your distance as well. You get hit. Nope. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, that's how you do it. We hit him like 3 or 4 times, and then, a third of his health is already missing from that, so. It took me 11 tries to get that guy, not including all these, this series. So 11 tries trying to actually get the weapon and kill the boss. So if you're new to the game, or if you're a Souls veteran, just as every other video, make sure you do this tutorial area down here. There's a bunch of mechanics that are unique to Elden Ring that are good to look out for, and even if you don't, it's a quick area, and you get a gesture at the end that's up there on that cliff. So always good to go up there and snag that. So if you picked up the stone sword key right here, you can use it on these statues. I don't recommend doing it from the class, as there's a bunch of them just in the first area alone. You probably have access to like 8 of them from the first area alone. So don't worry about running out on keys or anything. Plus this area over here is very high level, or I wouldn't say very high level, but you definitely need to kill like the first major boss, and then you have a chance at doing this, or at least get to the big castle. So these are sites of grace. This is where you refill your HP, as well as your flasks, but they also reset the world, so all the respawnable enemies will respawn. If you did pick up the golden seed, come down to flasks and then add charge to flask, and bam, now you went from 3 heals to 4 heals. But it does increase in golden seeds eventually, so instead of costing like 1 golden seed per upgrade, it'll start costing 2. But that's besides the point. Alright, here we are in Limgrave. There aren't many fog walls, or not fog walls, but illusionary walls that I've come across. I even looked it up on the wiki, and there's only like 5 or 10 of them. 5 to 10. That's kind of big, but and none of them were even areas that I've even come close to yet. So let's take a look at his starting equipment here. You got the Uchigatana, pretty good. Also comes with bleed, which is the passive effect at the bottom there in the middle column. This weapon, at least in Dark Souls 3, can get you to the end of the game. It is, again, very good weapon. Then you have basic arrows and fire arrows, which are both very good. You can build more arrows, craft more arrows in the game eventually. And by eventually, I mean like literally 10 minutes from now you have access to being able to craft them if you have the resources to do so. Alright, you get the longbow. Bows in the other Fromsoft games have been okay. They've been mostly used to just draw aggro or drop items from high places that are meant to be dropped. But it looks like bows in this game have been really revamped, really balanced wise up there, because there's a lot of cool stuff. Like there's a hand ballista, and that thing's huge, so take that into consideration. I actually want to do a bow build, but that's besides the point. And then we have a wooden shield. It does have parry, so that is very good. You don't need it because the Uchigatana can parry it by itself, so this isn't as necessary. Plus, it's only like 60 physical guard. It says 58, but rounding it, which means you do take around 40% of the damage, physical damage, that you would have taken if you don't guard to begin with. As well as for armor, pretty good armor. Pretty good armor starting off. I think the only one that has better armor is the Vagabond, and this one is just good. Alright, so don't worry about the armor department. I will say, however, that armor doesn't really matter in this game at all, because you're gonna get 2 or 3 hit anyways using the heaviest armor. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 4 hit for the biggest bosses. Alright, come over here, pick this up. As you can see here, the item itself has a gold tinge to it. That means that it is very important to pick up. This is also what lets you do co-op stuff, so that is fun indeed. Alright, so you see this guy walking on his horse, don't mess with him. I'm telling you now, you're gonna have a rough time. If you do, however, want to force yourself to learn how to play the game, then fight him and kill him. He's doable, but you need to do it almost perfectly, especially with the heals that you start off with, as it's almost nothing. And he does have moves that will one-shot you, but his actual move set isn't crazy complicated, and it's very easy to deal with. Alright, so here we are at the Church of Ella. We got Santa Claus. He is a merchant, as well as we have the smithing table. So before you have access to the blacksmith, this is the only place you can get your weapons only up to +3. The blacksmith will get them past that. The maximum cap, I'm not too sure, as I'm not even close to the max cap for weapon upgrades, but I think it's like 24, which is pretty big considering that Dark Souls was 23. But you can upgrade your weapons and shield. You can't upgrade your armor, I don't believe. Oh, when you talk to that guy, make sure you get the crafting kit. That is the most important item there that he has in his kit. He also has a bunch of other items in his shop that are also very good for sale, but I don't, like, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy them. But 100% buy the crafting kit. That is a huge difference in this game than it is in the other Fromsoft games. So I highly recommend doing that. Alright, so for the weapon art of the Uchigatana, it's unsheath. Basically, you hold the weapon art down, and then you can press the light attack, and it'll do a basic slash. Or you can do heavy attack, and totally mess it up. But you're supposed to be able to parry him. Let's see if I can parry him. Nah. Oh, it's not a heavy attack. Okay. So you can't parry with the Uchikatanas now. In the other Fromsoft games, it was the heavy attack used to be able to parry with it, but that is not the case in this game. Either one is just damage, so. Alright, your shield now has a use. Congratulations. I also recommend trying to learn how to parry. Being able to parry makes certain enemies and even certain bosses a cakewalk. So, it is good to look out for that as well. You know, force yourself to learn. Oh, he's not dead. Dang, 4 hits, 2-handing, and he's not dead. So, if that's the case, then you can sit here and one-hand the Uchigatana, because it'll be about the same. 4 hits. What about critical damage? Critical damage is the same, so if we, well, I tried to 2-hand it, and it still didn't even backstab him. All right, there you go. 208. I don't think a backstab is enough to kill the base guys. Let's check here. All right, stealth one-handed backstab is enough to kill them. Good to know. Alright, so here we are in the first area. I recommend coming to this area first. As the first thing you do, past the church. Completely ignore the area to begin with, though. Instead, come over here to the castle place and sit at the Grace. This is where you can get your level ups as well as your horse, which are, again, very, very important to your gameplay experience. So, alright, so here we are. There's going to be a cutscene. We're going to skip through that. Make sure you rest at the site, however. If you don't rest, then you're definitely not going to pick it up. So she's going to ask you some questions. Well, she's going to ask you one question. Make sure you accept. If you reject her assistance, it doesn't really matter because you can just sit back at the Grace and summon her again, and then she'll ask you the same question. But she's the NPC that lets you level up. Right? So, that being said, we did have access to Torrent. So, instead of putting him down here, which I don't recommend, instead go over to the right side of your pouch and then put him on one of these 4 up here. Because that way, at least on for controller, I don't know for PC, but you can hold down your interact button and it'll bring that menu up and then you can summon him without having to switch through all this stuff at the bottom here. And yes, he can double jump, and he's a very good boy and very cute. Look at him. Looks like a cow, but as a horse. Alright, so this starting area, there are 4 things of note that you want to pick up for sure. That are 2 weapons, one of which is right here. A map and the ability to start changing your weapon arts, which is also pretty good, and another unique, well, yeah, I would say it's pretty unique mechanic, being able to switch the weapon art in general. So that right there, we got a greatsword. It's pretty good starting off. You will have to level up probably a little bit. So that's 4 hits with a running attack. What about 1, 2? Yeah, it's gonna cost 4 hits anyway, so there's no point in 2-handing the Uchigatana unless you level it up a little bit. But right here we get a flail, which I believe is a new weapon type. Oh my god, what the heck? Sir, that was rude. Bam, there we go. But you'll probably have to level up a little bit for the flail as well. So here we have, make sure you're sneaking when you're around this area, because this guy right here, walking next to us, has a horn, and he will call everybody in the vicinity if he sees you, and it takes too long to kill him. So make sure you kill him first before you pick up this item, because he will make your day miserable. There we go. Alright, and right here, at these pillars with writing, is almost always going to be a map. Or somewhere nearby the pillar will be a map. And it's not really a pillar, but, well. That's some solid backstab damage. So these butterflies, you can pick them up, and they give you fire-based. It's a fire-based crafting ingredient if you do pick it up. This is why we have the bow. I actually missed. Oh my god. I missed again. Oh my... Okay, hold on. Hold on, I'll get it. I swear I'll get it. There we go. You can't just lock on and do that, and it'll still hit him, but... Ooh! Not killing me today! Oh. Oh, it's pretty fast. The weapon art does a decent chunk of damage, I guess. Especially the heavy one. Oh, alright, there we go. Arch Nemesis down. Alright, so once you kill this guy, there is one last important item, and that deals with the weapon arts. So this corner over here with all the dogs and all the people, there's a drop down little basement area right here. And I've done this multiple times. Literally every starting class, that's the amount of times I've done it. And he has not, or nobody has actually gotten down here before, so this is a safe area. So from here, you can fast travel back to the gate front bonfire, and then we're going to deal with the dogs as well as the boss, Azula. So bam, make sure you use your horse. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. I don't think this will be very good against the dogs though, because the AoE is very small. It has very vertical lined hits, right? Alright, let's rest. So you're gonna have a rough time if you have multiple dogs coming at you. Also, make sure you interact with these statues. That makes it so you can actually summon people here as well as get summoned, I think. I'm not too sure. I haven't messed with it too much, so... Yeah, very vertical slashing hits. Let's see what two-handed does. Actually, we are going to want to have the bow out. Because with the bow, oh my gosh, we one-hit the dogs. That's pretty good. Ah, okay, okay. What about you? Boom. That's actually very, very good. Look at his fire arrow. Ooh. Okay, so dogs are gonna be a pain in the butt, by the way. We can't see anything. Oh. Pretty heavy attack. No. Oh, so you can one-shot the small dogs, which are... That's actually very helpful. Let's see. Come down here. Okay, so you one-shot the small dogs. That's great. Make sure you get the cracked pot. That is a resource item that is refillable once you use it. It turns back, so you use it to craft a like fire bombs, right? And then it turns into a cracked pot once you use the fire bombs. So those are a semi-infinite resource, I guess. Also make sure you pick up like every crafting item you come across, because those are, you know, get them now while you're there instead of trying to farm for them later. Alright, how many heals do we have? 2 heals. We could probably kill this guy. So for this boss, you can backstab him. You could probably parry him as well. See? Backstab. And it does quite a bit of damage. Yeah, you can just farm backstabs. So if you're having trouble with this boss, just farm the backstabs. Uh-oh. Oh, I dodged way too early. Alright, this is his combo. Then when he slams the ground, easy backstab. Alright, there you go. And that is the boss Azula. You get the Flame Drake Talisman, which honestly doesn't really matter. It doesn't do much for you. It just reduces the amount of fire damage you take. So it's whatever. It doesn't even reduce it by that much. So this has been the Samurai class. And we'll return to the entrance. We'll do a quick recap. His stats are also pretty good. I forgot to mention it. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but hey, it's whatever. Alright, so my opinion as a starting character, this guy is very, very versatile, I will say. His armor is pretty solid. He's got a longbow, which is always nice for kiting enemies out or drawing one specific enemy to you. The Uchigatana can probably last you the entire game if you want to. However, there are cooler weapons, in my opinion, than just that specific one. The arrows he starts off with are pretty good. The shield is whatever. So looking at his stats all the way on the right side, you're at level 9, 12 vigor, a little bit of mind, good chunk of endurance and dexterity, and then none of the caster based stats. But yeah, if you want to do a little magic, I don't recommend this guy at all. There are hybrid-based classes for those, so that is good to know. He does have some good starting stats for a melee-based class, or if you want to dabble in the bow, then, you know, go for it. But this guy's very versatile. He one-shots the dogs, so the dogs here won't be an issue. The Uchigatana itself, again, is pretty good. The longbow, again, is pretty good. I would say he's on the friendlier side for starting classes. You can't go wrong with this guy, actually. Learning how the bow works is going to take a little bit of practice. As you can see, you know, me missing literally all of my shots on my arch nemesis. And I think that's it. You know, I would recommend this guy for a starting class. You can't go wrong with it. So on that note, my name has been Axotol. This has been the Samurai starting class. Again, solid class to start out with. You can't go wrong with it. Make sure you drink some water, and I'll be here when you tune in next time. Now go to sleep.